Hi there, this is Jeanette Comerford, and this is day 1 in my 2016 Christmas series. I'm starting this series off super early in the season in the hopes that if there are any things that you decide that you would like to make, that you're going to have enough time to get it done before Christmas. So this first day I'm showing you how to create this cute little gift bag. I have used Fawn products. And what's great about this is you can switch out the images for any of the Lawn Fawn little critter images to create a personalized and unique bag for that special someone. So here's just some of the supplies that we're going to be using, and I'm just going to show you a little bit how the size of the bags and how they look. We'll be making a penguin bag, and let's get started. So the first thing you need is some pattern paper. And I am using, this is an old set. It's actually like a summer set. It's beachside, I think. So all you really need is 2 pieces of 6x6 pattern paper that match. Or, you can use some 12x12 paper, but I kind of like the smallness of the patterns on the 6x6 paper pads. So just find 2 that match. And this is the Lawn Fawn tote bag die that we're going to be using. Here I'm just showing you my magnetic platform. I really love this. It really helps you when you're die cutting. This die is going to go down and it's going to stay magnetized to the plate, and it's not going to shift around. And it's just so easy to make sure that you cut exactly where you want to cut. So that's the first one down. You're going to need to do 2. I'm going to take the second piece of paper. Now, just make sure that the pattern is in the same direction the second time you cut so that it lines up nicely when you put the 2 pieces together. So I'm going to cut this one out. And at the same time, I'm going to use some watercolor paper. I'm using Canson watercolor paper, and I'm just cutting out the middle circle stitch die and a little tag from the Ready Set Snow Christmas set. And all the links to all these products will be below this video. So here is the Snow Cool set for the penguin, and the Ready Set Snow is for the sentiment. I'm going to be using my Misty now, and I'm taking the sort of negative space, or the negative from that paper that I cut out, putting some post-it tape behind it so that I can slip the die cuts in. And this is going to make sure that they stay put. When I'm using my Misty, when I lift up my Misty, the papers won't shift. And this is in case I have to double stamp. So I'm just positioning everything the way I want it. And I'm going to ink it up with some archival black ink. And I will stamp out those 2 things. Now in the end, I didn't have to restamp. I got a beautiful clear image the first time, but if you had to stamp again, having put them into that little grid there would have saved you a lot of time. This is just a piece of Eclipse tape, and I am going to stamp the penguin one more time so that it will serve as a mask for when I'm coloring. And I'm going to heat emboss it with some clear embossing powder. This way I don't have to worry about the ink smearing or smudging, and I really like doing this when I'm watercoloring as well. It kind of helps keep the watercoloring where you want it to be. I'm also going to be doing the same thing to the sentiment. Just make sure that I got enough powder over everything. And now I'll take my heat tool and I will just melt that embossing powder. And I find it gives you a beautiful crisp line to the sentiment and to the images as well when you do this. So I'm going to do the same thing with the Eclipse masking paper, and then finally with my tag. So I'm going to be coloring in this penguin with Zig Real Brush Clean Markers, and I'm going to have the numbers I'm using listed on the screen in the order that I'm using it. So I'm starting with my darker color, which is, I believe, a black, and then some lighter grays. And I'm just sort of blending it in and leaving where I want my highlight to be colored the last. So I just work in small sections, and I'm going to be doing that for the rest of the body here. I also have a water tank brush, and I'm going to be showing you when I use that. And you can see how fast and easy the coloring is, especially if you've embossed the edges. You don't get any ink sort of going past the edges. Here I'm going to be using a sort of blue-gray color just to give a little bit of color to his body, but without making it too dark. And I'll be using my water tank brush. You can use a paintbrush, and just softening up the edges, sort of blending it towards the middle to get a nice soft blend. I'm going to be doing the feet now. Just make sure that it's not too wet, the paper, after having put water on it before you put this orange, or it might bleed a little bit. So you can use, take a little time to make sure it's dry before you move to that area. I'm going to be doing the earmuffs, a pretty blue color. I'm just using 2 colors here, and just basically blending the darker color with the lighter marker. Put a little punch of color up here, put some red up at the top. And you can see how quick and easy it is with these markers to color. So now I'm going to cut out that mask. I'm going to put it right over my penguin, and you want to make sure that you really position it properly so that everything is covered. Press it down nicely. And I'll be using some cracked pistachio and a blending tool just to add a little bit of color around the little guy. So I sort of pounce it on the middle where the masking paper is, and then I sort of just in little circles brush the color right around the image, and you get a nice sort of blue glow around the image, and it just makes it look so much nicer. So there you can see it's done. I'm not going to do anything with the sentiment, but you could certainly color it if you wanted to. Now we're just going to assemble the little gift bag. So there are some fold lines, and what I like to do is take a bone folder and just make sure that they're pressed down and creased really well. It helps when you put the bag together to have everything folded, pre-folded. So I'll do that for both of them. You don't have to worry about the little ones that are on the flap. I'm going to show you what you do with those after, so don't worry about those ones there. We'll take care of those after the bag's assembled. So I'm going to put a little bit of tape there on the tabs. For this one, I'm putting some along the edge of the bottom of the bag. And now we'll just press them together, just line up the sides. Put them together and make sure you press down nicely to make sure that the adhesive adheres properly. So now the one that has the adhesive on the bottom, I'm putting that inside the other one so that it is going to stick nicely. Make sure everything is lined up and press down. And now what you're going to do is just put your fingers up there on the top and just press in like that. And you can see those fold lines fold in beautifully. You get that nice sort of V shape, and it's easier to do that at the end. So now I'm just going to be tying some ribbon to the top handles there just to keep them closed. You can use any ribbon you have. This is old ribbon from Whiff of Joy. I've left a link to it. I'm not sure if you can still purchase it, but it's regular satin ribbon. I'm sure you can find something similar. I'm going to make a nice bow with it. I'm going to trim the edges with my scissors that I keep only for ribbon so that the scissors stay nice and sharp. I'm going to thread some baker's twine through that back loop so that I can tie my little tag on. And then all that's left to do is adhere the sentiment, and my gift bag will be completed. So thanks so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be having more videos for Christmas, my Christmas series, and you can find links and supplies below this video on YouTube or on my blog. Thanks for watching.